When is Powell going to cut first? I don't know. If he's smart, he's going to cut a quarter or a half in the first Q1 to get the ball rolling, get the party started. He already said he doesn't want to wait too long. Number two, he's going to start getting a lot of political pressure. All these guys are. Nobody wants to go and run for re-elections, and we're going to be entering a recession. So it's going to be interesting for them to see them trying to print money or give money so it doesn't look like we have a recession. The economy's working. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. This episode is just me and myself. I was going to have Krystle come on, but filming this Friday before the holiday weekend. Wanted to get it out to you guys. Got some notes here. Figured out, you know what? Let me get one last podcast in for 2023, and I might as well give you my 2 cents. And yes, I'm feeling confident. You know why? Because I've gotten better and better at studying data and know who to follow. And a lot of people did not expect rates to come down. A lot of people were doubters. A lot of people were naysayers. And I get it, guys. A lot of people are like, Kenny, there's no way. They just thought we're going to have rates much higher for many, many years. But I don't think the problem is what people are realizing, what was going on behind the scenes and what's cracking and crumbling in the economy. And as you guys can see, is if you're seeing the data, I kept telling people it's going to hit. We're getting the first tranche. And as you heard, the first tranche of data showing that we're starting to see some serious decline in everything the Fed wants to see. Ending this year has been pretty interesting. A lot of us thought he might hike. A lot of us thought he might stay hawkish. He's not going to talk about cutting. None of this is going to happen. But here's the thing. As I told everybody, when the 10-year was at 5% or a little over, and 30-year fixed rates are at 8%, commercial rates, multifamily are at 7%, and the market just went and just stopped because nothing was making sense. And people are like, I'm not buying shit at 8% or 7%. It doesn't make any sense. And I get it. I said, this is unsustainable. It's not going to stay here. You cannot have the market just slam on its brakes. You will cause massive destruction quickly. And that was all unnecessary. That did not need to happen. That was an overreaction. And so here we are, as I film this, December 22nd. Wow, this year's gone by. 2023. We've got a 10-year treasury, which I'm going to pull up just so we're talking not real numbers here. 3.897. I said it was going to be 4.25. I thought we'd end at. A 4 is going to be low. We're under that. Great surprise. Good for real estate. Good for everything. But the biggest surprise, I think, for me was the Fed actually admitting that it's going to cut 3 times next year, which I still don't believe that number. We'll get to that. But the bigger thing about it is he actually came out and addressed it. He did not technically say I'm done hiking, but he is done hiking. We got more data out today that really is just still showing signs of slowing, signs of not happening. And I get it. The Fed is worried about inflation. He's worried about a 1970s event where things come jacking back up. And I'm going to go into why I'm not really worried about it, but here in a minute. But we got a Fed that basically just came out and said, to quote, I can't say exactly the quote, but Jerome Powell, when I was listening to a video the other day, said, I'm going to have to cut. You have to cut before 2%. You cannot wait until it's 2% and then cut. It's too late. He has to start cutting sooner. Folks, let's go over some statistics. Statistically, after the last hike, it's historically on the average 7 months. 7 months, the first rate cut comes. That would mean January of 2024, the first rate cut. Do I think that's going to happen? Negative, ghostwriter. I don't think so. I think it's going to come later. The second thing is, after the last rate hike, it's 12 to 18 months for all this high jacked up rates to hit the system. We're not even there yet. So we're the pain and the stuff we're feeling now, it's going to get worse. Third and fourth is you have a lot of corporate debt, a lot of commercial debt coming due in 24 and 25, but corporate debt, they took a lot of money. They bought other companies. They've got all this employment. They built all these centers. They bought all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. What do we need to know? Is that if corporate debt shoots up and they're paying double the rates, it's going to add to their bottom line. How are they going to cut costs? Are they going to lay people off to cut costs? That's usually what companies do. So if we start seeing job losses creep up, that will start escalating, hurting the economy. If you've ever been through a recession, you know that once it starts, it comes pretty quickly. It's like a flu or a bug. It moves. It's more of a psyche than a reality. We're probably not going to get the stimulus that we're going to send money, helicopter money to people this time. They're just not going to do that. Why? Because they did that and it caused a thing called inflation, which they don't want to deal with. So everybody that listens to this podcast, and most people listen to it, own real estate, or somewhat involved in real estate, want to know what the hell is going on in real estate. And that's why I'm making this. So that's why I predicted rates would be lower at the end of the year, because I knew the pain is coming. Everybody wants to keep listening to Powell and all these guys who were late to the party of raising rates, and they're probably going to be late to the party of cutting rates. So as we sit here today, the 30-year fixed mortgage that was at 8%, let's call it today is about 6.5%, give or take, right? Let's just call that's what it is. If I'm going to make a podcast December 22nd of 2024, yes, I'm giving you a prediction because I know you guys love them. Am I going to be right? I don't know if I'm going to be right. I'm just giving you a prediction. I think the 30-year fix is going to be 5 to 5.5, but that could change if a recession comes on the second half of the year, which people are expecting, and things are much worse. That would probably now, conventional rates would have a 4 in front of it, maybe 4.5 to 5%, and you would have FHA VA loans a half a point lower, so maybe in the high 3s to low 4s. That is if we have a nasty recession. So from where we are at now, I do expect rates to continue to trend down through 2024. Spring and summer for home buying is going to be out of control. We're going to have lots of people enter the market. Why? It's very simple, folks. When you buy a car, when you buy a house, when you buy a lot of things, when you go book a hotel, what do most people look at? How much is it going to cost me for the night, the month, whatever? So people, they forget when they're writing a check or their ACH payment, they forget what they pay for the house. They forget what the rate is. They forget what they put down. They don't really care about it. All they care about is the monthly payment of $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, $10,000, $1,500, whatever it is that comes out every month. Am I comfortable and can I afford that? So with that being said, at 8%, if a payment was $500 higher than today, at a $500,000 loan amount, right, or $650 higher, they know that payment that I want it to be $4,000, right, that was $5,000, I'm getting closer. So if rates go into the 5s and now that payment at 8% now all of a sudden becomes $1,000 more, people are going to move off the sideline. So the lower we go with rates, the more people are going to move off the sideline. And the biggest challenge is, are we going to get enough listings in 2024? I think the answer in most places is no. Why? Because the lock-in effect. There's people that have a 1%, 2%, and 3% rate and 4%. 75% of all the mortgages have a 4% or less. 42% of all the homes out there are free and clear. This is the problem. This is what we're going to face. A biggest obstacle in 2024 moving forward is these big problems with housing. So let's get into some details. Let's get into some facts. As rates come down, as treasuries come down, your money market account comes down, the CD offering comes down, that money is going to go into other things. It's going to go into stocks. It's going to go into crypto. It's going to go into gold, silver, watches, art. And there's going to go in a thing called real estate. Why? Because people that are just sitting on a lot of cash, $8 trillion or something is sitting in treasuries. A lot always sits in there. What I'm saying is people are going to have to move it and put it to work when the treasury goes from 5 to 4 to 3.5, maybe to 3, it starts making less and less sense. People are like, well, I might as well go buy real estate and make 5%. So people love making 5%, 7% of their money, whatever. Money is going to start moving into other assets 100% for sure over 2024. Powell coming out and saying he's going to do 3 cuts of a quarter. Let's be honest. What in the world is a quarter point going to even mean? Like, what is that going to do? That is not going to mean anything. It's basically a joke. That's not going to move the needle. The first quarter cut is going to be a psychological, hey, I'm cutting because I need to, but I guarantee you the first cut could be a quarter. The second cut is probably going to be much bigger because he's going to realize it's not going to do diddly squat to this at all, to our economy. It's not going to be enough to move the needle and stuff like that. Most people are starting to predict a recession second half of the year. That's why, because people that look out 12 to 18 months after the last rate hike cut, with all the corporate stuff, with the consumer slowing down, money-wise, running out of money, credit card debt all-time high. Remember, most people, cannot make their way, make enough money way out of their financial problems. They cannot make more money to pay down debt. They cannot make more money to put in the bank. They cannot make more money to pay these bills. So as we go further in this next year, the money is gone that even it was entered in the beginning of this year. So we're going to see a much slower economy next year. You're already seeing it. You're already seeing much slower travel. Even here in San Diego, the VRBOs, the Airbnbs are starting to slow down. You're just seeing it. We came off of a sugar high of all this money, all this spent, and all this stuff. So these are the things we really have to look at when it comes to moving forward in the economy. 2023, to me, it's over. It's done. We got the rate hikes. We dealt with the hawkish Powell. We're ending the year with the dovish Powell. We're entering next year with talk about rate cuts. We have an election year. It's going to be crazy, and what to expect. I truly believe second half of next year is when a lot of refinancing is going to get done. I think commercial real estate is going to turn back on because interest rates are going to go in the 6s now into the 5s. And yes, depending on what happens, you could start seeing some rates in the 4s. Yes, I said it. Yes, I did. So a lot of y'all thinking, hey, I'm going to have to refi to 7% or 6. I think we're going to see lower rates. I think you're going to see a consumer slow down. I think you're going to start seeing unemployment tick up closer to 5% unemployment rate. I think you're going to see people struggling with credit card debt. I think you're going to see more delinquencies on car loans. I think you're going to see more corporate bankruptcies. I think you're going to see much more layoffs when they're having to cut costs. And overall, I just think you're going to see more of a fragile economy. What's good about a fragile economy for real estate is that means we're going to have to bring inflation. It's going to come down, and we're going to have rates come down. That will create a refi boom and help people get out of these high rates. That will create better opportunities for people that want to buy real estate properties as investments, whether it's commercial, residential. When the debt is 2-3% lower than it was last year, that's going to create more opportunity. And not to mention, guys, we might see quarters where the inflation's negative. Like we might start seeing 1% growth next year, negative growth. We might start see deflation like we had before. So I just think things dramatically are going to slowly start slowing down. The second half of the year, they're going to maybe really slow down, and we're going to see a completely different consumer, see a recession. It could be small, could be big. We just don't know yet. Based on what that is, that's really where you're going to see rates increase. So if you're in the real estate game, in the real estate business, whether you're escrow, whether you're title, whether you're appraiser, whether you're a lender, whether you're a loan officer, whether you're a real estate investor, whether you are a realtor, your business is probably going to be a lot better than last year, especially in the second half of 2024. I'm already seeing people real estate investors that didn't even really buy many deals in 2023. The last 2 months, they're starting to pick up properties. They're seeing deals. People are sleeping behind the wheel. They know we're coming into rate cuts, lower rates, lower inflation. So as rates come down, they know they're going to get more for their property, more buyers. And they probably, in a place like San Diego, we realize we are going to have a lack of supply, and it's going to be a problem.
We've been working on this for the past few months.
You know, we always want to bring as much value as we possibly can. And our partner, Prime Corporate Services, is all about bringing you a service you can't get anywhere else at a price you can't get anywhere else. Whether you're new to owning a business or owning a property, or you're an experienced property owner or investor, Prime Corporate Services is not only going to help you, but they're going to make the process so much easier. So if you book a call, the first thing they're going to do for you is help you understand what your business structure should look like, your corporate structure, tax planning, estate planning, all of that. Maybe you're saying, I'm brand new to starting a business and all this sounds foreign and complicated. Remember, this company helps new people just getting started every day. They're going to help you form the entity that's best for you and walk you through the process. Before I found this company, we paid thousands of dollars to other attorneys, CPAs, and consultants to try to understand exactly how we need to be structured to be as protected as possible. We've also gone the other route and used online platforms to form entities which unnecessarily put us at risk. You guys, you don't have to do that with this company. They'll do all of these things for you at a reasonable price, so you never have to think about saving money at the expense of exposing yourself to liability. We've searched high and low, and you will not find this much value anywhere else. All you have to do is schedule a free call today. Just go to primecorporateservices.info/GITCG. Once again, that's primecorporateservices.info/GITCG. We'll also leave the info for you in the show notes.
So I think a lot of the question people are going to want to know is, what I talk to is, when is Powell going to cut first? I don't know. If he's smart, he's going to cut a quarter or a half in the first Q1 to get the ball rolling, get the party started. He already said he doesn't want to wait too long. Number two, He's going to start getting a lot of political pressure. All these guys are. Nobody wants to go and run for re-election, especially Biden, and as they probably are, and we're going to be entering a recession. So it's going to be interesting for them to see them trying to print money or give money so it doesn't look like we have a recession, the economy's worse. But I think they're going to be fighting that demon, that battle, and that's going to be pretty interesting. Number 3 with real estate, anybody that's buying now probably going to look back and say, damn, that was a really good decision, because moving forward, we're not going to get the inventory in a place like San Diego, and rates drop. You're going to get so many buyers. You'll be glad you get to refi them when everybody else is buying, because the competition is definitely going to heat up and it's going to get insane, because it just will. Because when rates come down, affordability goes up and people move. And then when the herd starts really moving towards buying and people come off the sidelines at a rapid pace, that just fuels the fire and gets it going. Home prices next year, depends. I mean, look, you get a good buy now, you could pick up a 10-20% return, value add property. Home price what I'm hearing is, I'm not one to really talk much about that, because who knows, but just saying a 5% increase next year, I can tell you right now, you're going to get your best deals now, not in spring, summer, or next year when the rates are lower. I would say this, if you're buying a commercial property or buying a residential property and you want to get your offer accepted, you're going to have to start getting creative, crafty, smart, and separate yourself from others. We all know that, because it's going to be tough. And what I mean by that is, if you're a first-time home buyer and you want to buy a property, or somebody you want to buy an investment property, how do you separate yourself? You better have a good team. You better be ready to close quick, especially residential. You got to if you have to close in 10 to 15 days, you be ready. As soon as you get an escrow, we got to rush that appraisal. If you can remove any contingencies up front, whether that's inspection, appraisal, or loan, you're going to get in front of the line over other buyers. Remember, sellers, what they care about is that you're going to perform. There's a lot of people buying that are falling out, whether their lender didn't come through, or they get scared and panicked, or the value didn't come in, or they can't negotiate on a good deal. This happens all the time. So being flexible and also being patient and making sure when you're ready to execute, you are confident, you're ready to go, you're ready to close. So that lender, could call that listing agent and say, hey, we can close. We want to go fast. We got this. Help us out. On the commercial side, there's going to be a lot of people that have to start refinancing, and they're going to be looking around. I still would, it's hard to say, because, the lowest rates could potentially be in 2025, because if we have a recession late next year, it will go into 2025. Rates and the feds will probably do more work on the back end and the front end of that. And so you might just get much lower rates. So, anybody looking to refi, you got to just size up, makes sense, but I wouldn't get into some crazy ass long prepay. Maybe some people that are big enough can just float it out and wait until they really think they're at the bottom of rates to take advantage of those opportunities. As I kind of sit back this year, a lot of people got out of the real estate business, whether they're realtors, a lot of syndicators got hurt. A lot of loan officers got out of the business. So there's going to be less of us, which is more opportunity. More people will start entering the probably business later next year into 25. But I do expect a kind of similar year where probably the beginning will be a slower start, but spring, summer is going to be gangbusters for buyers. And honestly, a lot of people that have, 8-9s rates are going to be able to refi out of those, whether it's private money, whether it's DSCR, whether it's non-QM, whether it's, conventional, anything. So there's going to be lots of options for people to save a lot of money. So people will be able to cut expenses big time. And honestly, hopefully gas will come down and things like that. I mean, we still have 2 wars going on. So it's going to be interesting. But from a real estate standpoint, I think rates are going to come back down pretty dramatically. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for first-time home buyers to get in and get affordability. The longer you wait, the more competition you're just going to be up against. And for real estate investors, I think people that are flipping, especially a place like San Diego, are going to crush it. If you can buy right, they're going to be able to deliver a nice product to the market, which there are going to be plenty of buyers to buy. And then obviously real estate investors may be buying 2 to 4, fixing them up, selling those. The house hack, Fannie Mae came out with that 5% down, 2 to 4. That'll be really good for somebody who wants a house hack in a place like San Diego. And then obviously, 5+ units, as the rates come down, deals will make more sense. And then, the one thing that will be interesting to watch is all these small banks, credit unions, things like that were kind of impacted from, the First Republic, Silicon Valley Bank debacle. Are they going to be able to get more liquidity? Are they going to come around and start lending again? So hopefully banks will come back, start lending. I think the beginning of the year, you're going to see people drop rates and have some options there. Definitely, I'm feeling more confident about the real estate market next year because rates will be lower. Not feeling more confident at all about the overall market and economy. I think it's going to struggle. I think small business owners, I think, us in real estate, we went through the recession starting in 22, 23. So we've been getting our asses kicked. We've been through the recession. So as the rest of you go through a recession, we'll probably come out because lower rates, and that will help our businesses. Those that have survived and made it through, you still have to do that. But otherwise, guys, another year of podcasting. I do appreciate everybody watching. I love everybody's comments, feedback. Every time I run into everybody and comment, I get a lot of feedbacks on the podcast, on our content, on my brief, and Krystle gets it as well. So I truly, truly appreciate anybody and everybody that listens to us. But I wish you guys nothing but the best for the holidays and New Year. And look, 2024 is going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of opportunity in real estate because we're going to get lower rates and things will start making more sense. So look, if we can help you, if anybody can help, reach out, conversation, email me, text mail me, reach out, hit us up, and love to have a conversation, love to help out. And I look forward to 2024 of funding deals, hopefully buying some deals. I'm going to be very fascinated when I sit here and do another recap of 24, where we land with rates, and overall, are we in a recession at that time? And what is that going to look like from job losses to the consumer to, everything else. So otherwise, guys, you know how to find me. I really, truly appreciate it. I don't know how many years I've been doing this podcast. I literally have lost track, but it's definitely, I think it's 4 years, which is insane. Couple hundred podcasts we've done. I really enjoy doing the content. I really enjoy bringing this to you guys. And I enjoy when I'm wrong and I enjoy when I'm right with my predictions. And I'm really happy that I predicted the end of the year for rates to go lower, because that means the data I'm studying, the people I'm listening to, and what I think is going on is actually really going on. And it's very important who we listen to and where we get information from, so we don't get led down the wrong path, the wrong direction. But anyways, all right, guys. Happy holidays, happy New Year's. You'll be listening to this on Christmas week. I hope you had a great time with friends, family. You ate too much. It's 2024, so you got to get after it. You got all those goals, you got those intentions, and I will leave you with one thing. If you would just get up a few hours earlier like I do, the goals and those intentions could all be possible, but you have to get up. And when you do get up, it's not just getting up earlier, it's getting up and being thoughtful with your time and what you use it for. So you got to get up and you got to hit the ground running, and you got to make an effort, and you got to make an impact. So if you're going to get up an hour earlier or 2 hours earlier, you need to have a plan so you impact and you get stuff done. I get it. You might not be able to do it every day of the week, and you might get taken off track, but imagine if you can get up 2 hours earlier or an hour earlier, 80% of your life for the next 2024. That is so many more hours. That is so much more you're going to accomplish and get done. And I promise you, it will change your life in so many ways you won't believe it. And all those goals you want to do, focus that time on knocking out those goals. But until next year, 2024, Happy New Year. Happy holidays. I'll see you on the other side.
If you're already a real estate investor, you know that aside from cash flow, you also get huge tax benefits by investing in real estate. But are you taking full advantage of all the potential tax benefits? We've been working with Tim Looney at CSSI for a few years now, and he's saved us and our clients hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in taxes doing cost segregation studies on their properties. Let me give you a few examples. We bought a property in 2019. If we had just used straight line depreciation, we would have saved about $18,750 in taxes. But because we did a cost seg, we saved $258,000. That's $239,350 more than standard straight line depreciation in the first year. The other great thing is, if you're classified as a real estate professional, you can apply this to other sources of income like W-2 or 1099 income, and you can also roll over any unused depreciation to future years. If you've owned your properties for a few years already, don't worry, you can still do a cost seg and save big on your taxes. This is not tax advice, so consult your CPA to see if you qualify to take advantage of these benefits. Call or text Tim at 318-469-9861 to get your complimentary property analysis. Once again, that's 318-469-9861. And I'll also include his information in the show notes. You guys don't want to miss out on these tax savings.